Good morning. This is Gina, and I am coming to you from sunny Medford, actually, Massachusetts. And I am grateful to be here with you. I'm a practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Boston, and we are here to celebrate that power within us today. The topic for today is, and still I rise. And that power within us is always rising. So we're going to begin with some music and just settle into this space, this topic, this knowing, in this joyful place of rising up with spirit.
Not gonna cave into this pain in my heart. Not gonna listen to lies of self-hatred. Not gonna cry over yesterday's loss. Slip into darkness and wallow in pain. I've been there and done that, and I will not again. Instead, I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. You see me sitting with a smile on my face, counting all of the blessings I'm given, learning to love me the way that He does. I'll open my heart and let it all in. I know it gets better with each moment I'm in. I win. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up, remembering who I am. I'll rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. Now I surrender. I'm not gonna fear it. I'm gonna rise up with spirit. I'm gonna rise up with spirit.
And now, to bring us into this space and bless this time together, our beloved Karen is going to do our invocation.
Good morning. So we all settle into our chairs, settle into this space. Take a deep breath, knowing that Spirit is all around us, everywhere, in, through, and as each one of us. And as Spirit is here with us in this building, in our life, in this world, we are one with that Spirit. And as we are one with that Spirit, we are love, we are happiness, we are perfect technology, we are all. Today I bless this service, this wonderful talk Gina is going to give, practitioner Gina is going to give. The technology works flawlessly. The sun is shining, the air we breathe is beautiful, and all of it is blessed by that one Spirit that surrounds each one of us. And as we breathe, I am so thankful for each person here, each person watching, each person that will watch this broadcast later. And we take a deep breath and we let it go, knowing that it is perfect and complete and already done. And we ground it by saying, and so it is.
And now we have our spiritual reading from our beloved Barbara.
Now is the only time that anyone need be concerned with, because now is where and when all the power of mind is. It is the only time there really is. Mind is always creating for us what we are thinking, feeling, and doing right now. It never creates out of what is going to be, and it cannot create that which already has been. Now is all that we need concern ourselves with. In this now is the allness of life, the allness of good, the allness of God. This now is absolutely absolute, and all of mind is creating us the forms of our now focus of attention. When you are reading this article, right now. When do you watch a movie? Right now. When do you think of a past event? Right now. When do you dream of a future event? Right now. So the power is not in what has already happened. It is in what you are thinking and doing right now. You are now reacting. Your now's reaction is always your experience, not your reactions of 2 weeks ago. We can have great healings take place when we identify the truth and live from that truth right now, which frees us from yesterday and tomorrow. Now is the time to choose, to know, to accept, and to live. Now is all there is.
And so it is, absolutely. Now is all that there is. So powerful. And when we remember that, life flows so much easier. So thank you for that beautiful reading, Barbara. I agree wholeheartedly. Now is all there is. And in this moment, I'm going to play a song for us that I absolutely love. The name of the group is Fearless Soul. And the music is so, to me, just so powerful. So I invite you to really listen to the words of this. And they actually give the words on the screen with it. But really remember about rising up and what does that mean? And how do I do that? And just listen.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. You are capable of anything. You can achieve any dream. Please don't limit yourself. Don't live your life limited. It's not all sadness and misery. Life's a challenge, but you will succeed. Take control of how you feel in every circumstance. Work on yourself daily. Your story's far from done. The best is yet to come. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you. Whoa, whoa, You have to believe in yourself. You don't have to hide anything. You can be your true self. Don't need to follow society. Never forget that you're blessed. Give thanks for everything. Even the hard times will turn out to be blessings. No matter The best is yet to come. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all your dreams. Persevere, you'll make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all your dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you.
Good morning, and that is such a powerful message and such a gift it is to be here with you. And this message today, to me, is everything. This is why we do what we do. Our message today is, September is reaching higher, that's the whole point to life, is more than we are, full of expression of ourselves and divine. And still I rise. And I'm sure most of us have realized that song, that sentiment comes from Maya Angelou's poem, that powerful knowing that still I rise. And I have more of that later this morning that I'm going to talk about. And while hers came from a specific cultural experience, any great poetry articulates universal truth. And that's what it does. It tells the truth of who and whose we are. And that's what we're here to remember. That's what we're here to talk about today. There are times in life that things go well. And in those moments, it's easy to be thankful. It is easy to be joyful and know that you're blessed when things are going the way we want to. But when they're not, so many times people often say, and I've said, well, where's God now? Where's Spirit now when I really need? I love the Footprints poem. For those of you that have never seen it, it's basically there's two sets of footprints in the sand, and at the toughest times, there's only one. And the person says, it says to Jesus, and it says, but Jesus, why at my most difficult times is there only one? And the poem says, it's because those are the days I carried you. When we remember that when times are toughest, we can be carried and lifted through, there's a power that is so much greater than any one person is, living and breathing within you. When we remember that power, anything is possible. Ernest Holmes says in The Science of Mind, I know there is a power for good which is responding to me and bringing into my experience everything that is necessary to my unfoldment. This power for good uses every part of my human experience, the joyous and the challenging, the pleasure and the pain, to guide me into a deeper awareness and knowingness of itself as me. In God, nothing is wasted. All of my life experiences are used by the power of good, enabling me to help others and to bless the whole world. So truth is unchangeable. It's untouchable. If I am ever good, then I'm always good. If I am ever powerful, then I'm always powerful. If I am ever love, I am always love. Now, I don't always feel the joy that I am, but that's my experience. It's not the truth. Truth is unchangeable. And we know that there is only one. There's only one power, one source of all. And that source lives and breathes as each one. That perfect wisdom, that perfect mind is always accessible. I may not always be connected with it. I may not feel that flow of wisdom in those moments. I may not feel the joy when I'm enraged. I may not feel that peace when things aren't the way that I'd like them to be. So what do? That's the question. I love this quote by Carl Jung. It says, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." So I ask you, do we get caught up in the story, or do I remember who and whose I really am? Do I take the time to breathe through where I am, whether it's journal about it? Even there's times I rant at spirit. I am just not happy, and there's no question about it. And sometimes it has to come out. Whatever the emotion is, it's not wrong. It's so important that we remember there is no wrong. Life happens. And sometimes it's not according to our plan. I had my personal, the toughest year of my life. My sister was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. 2 weeks later, my father was diagnosed stage 4. And within the year, my mother. My sister transitioned within 2 months with a 9 and 11-year-old left behind. And there was so much else that happened that year. It was beyond my ability to really comprehend. And when you're in it, it sometimes feels like quicksand, but sometimes you're just going to the next thing and you're just moving through. It's like you're fielding the bullets. You're not really processing anything. I know every step of the way for me, Spirit carried me. There were times that I broke down, but Spirit carried me. That is my life breath. That's where I fall to, no matter what. And I was able to be who I needed to be at that time. It's not about doing it perfectly. Some days it's just getting through. Sometimes life is brutal. It's still wonderful in the sense that she was my best friend. It was the best gift I've ever been given. My dad and my mom both went on to live for years. So there was so much good that did come out of. And yet that time in my life was brutal. Now, we get a choice of what hardship does to us. Everyone experiences pain. Sometimes we get stuck in it. When we're stuck in the pain, we lose sight of the possibility of it. Ernest Holmes says, "The man who can control his thought can have and do whatever he wishes to have and do. Everything is his for the asking." So if I can control what I think about, how I think about it, and how I react to it, life flows. Sometimes it's just doing the next right thing, what's in front of me, not what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month, who's going to raise these boys, and what's going to happen. All of that stuff is beyond my control, and all I could do was pray. It's 14 years later, and my nephews are the best young men I know. They are kind. They have manners. They do the right thing for the sake of the right thing. Now, I'm also not around them all the time, and I know they're in their 20s, and I trust they're not angels. But at the same time, they were raised knowing they were loved. They're good young men that really were given and know they were loved and show love in healthy relationships now. That's what I would have then, all I wanted. But I had no control over so much of what went on. That's where faith comes in. Because in hindsight, all is well. It's 2020 vision in hindsight. But in the moment, it can be overwhelming. The human spirit is powerful. When it's directed, when it's truly used and focused in the way of choice, when we learn how to allow that untouchable power within us that can never be destroyed or diminished, that light within us, that divine breath, when we use that, amazing things happen. So it's being in that place and knowing it, not doing spiritual bypass and saying all is well when it's not. Don't deny your pain, because all it does is stick it there and it turns into dis-ease. So we don't want to get sick over it. So how do we deal with it? Life is it's a process. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. It's not sometimes inside of you. It's not inside of this person and not that person. It's so important that we don't compare ourselves and our circumstances. Don't compare your insides to somebody's outsides, because people can look like they have it all together. But I can guarantee you that everybody's got their stuff. Everyone has their struggles, their pain, their insecurities. The grass is never greener anywhere. And anywhere we go, we take us with us. So it's about being honest and being true to ourselves in that place of knowing there is something greater to be learned here. There is something greater to be made here. The question is, how do we do it? Okay, have faith. What does that mean? How do I just have faith? That's why we have spiritual practices. That's why we have a spiritual community. When I forget who and whose I am, I can call someone and be with someone that knows the truth of me, that can reflect it back to me, can remind me that this is a circumstance, not who I am. This is not my life. It's just a situation. And when I put life into perspective in that way, things start to change. When I play small, when I lose sight of the power within me and what I'm meant for, they can remind me there's something greater. Ernest Holmes says there's a divine urge within everyone to know more, to be more, to express more. And I have found that the thing we are searching for is the thing we are searching with. So spirit as us is searching within us for that higher self. We are here with a divine purpose, a divine calling. Each one has own gifts. We're meant to be different. We're meant to look different, act different, react different. We're meant to be different. So spirit within us is expressing as an individual. And that is what we use, those gifts, those talents. That is how we become that greater than we were before. And that's all we have to compare ourselves to. The expansion of life. Sometimes we get caught up in what it looks like. I know I do. If I don't have more in terms of the worldly stuff, do I have more? If there's anything I've learned through my own experience, actually, with cancer, I had 2 major operations, and I am blessed the miracles that happened and unfolded. It was horrible. It was definitely that place of darkness, that place that put me I was completely out of ability to do anything. Couldn't get out of a chair. I woke up out of a 4-day coma and I couldn't walk. And I had no doubt that God would use this for good. I said that to the nurse in the hospital, which still blows my mind because I was barely coherent. I don't know how, but I will walk. And I know God will use this for good. And that's how I know my faith is solid. Because even when I barely was coherent on medication, I knew that that was my landing place and that this was not where I was staying. It was just where I was starting from. And that was from spiritual practices, repeatedly. From going back to the well again and again and again. Because I can't, you can, and I'm going to let you. And I say that often. Probably not often enough, but I say it many times a day. Spirit, that beloved, is my partner in life and carries me in amazing ways. There's a freedom that I'm given. I can think about anything. I can go anywhere. I can do anything. Is it productive? Because the worldly stuff doesn't fill the inside. For most of my life, I was searching outside for the stuff that I wanted. And being flat on my, put me to a place that I had to go within because there was nowhere else to go. And the gift of that is it brought me here. There is no way that I would ever be in ministerial school or chosen anywhere near this path had it not been for that experience, because I didn't know how to slow down. I was raised in chaos. I didn't know what going within meant. Meditation was painful. 5 minutes with an egg timer was like, whoa, is it really not 5 minutes yet? I didn't know what peace was. I can feel joy at any moment now, regardless of circumstance. I can remember the truth and connect with that. I can play music and release whatever comes up in me. I can remember that truth. But am I doing it? That's the question. Emma Curtis Hopkins said, our strength rises and goes forward to mankind because we know that our strength is God. When your child is in school, you say they can do anything. As they're growing up, you say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I still say to anyone I meet, I've been a life coach for over a decade, what do you want to be? We don't ever have to grow up, because growing up sounds like growing old, which sounds like it's less than. There's nothing that diminishes. That's the lie that society tells ourselves. There's no need for anything to diminish in our lives. We get to stay vital if that's what we claim. I have one of my husbands calls me Hawkeyes because my vision is 2010. And I have claimed that, and I know that it's staying, and that's all there is to it. And I don't buy into that whole, well, as you get older, things change. No, I will not accept that. Yet, do I do it in every aspect of life? So oftentimes we can do these things when it is one thing. But am I doing it with everything? Am I realizing that there's a whole lot more than just what I can buy or what I own or where I've been? Who I am goes deeper than what I'm doing. But what I'm doing can help that deeper. Am I going to a vacation to escape? Or is it really breaking me open because I'm experiencing beauty in a new way? Is it just to let off the steam so that I can go back and do it all over again? Or am I changed for having been someplace different, experiencing people in a different way? Every day of life we get to participate in. It's a choice. How are you using your choices? What are you doing with that? It's not about have to. It's about get to. And there are days we don't want to even get out of bed. There's days that we may be in this place of just frustrated, aggravated, even the why me's. And that is normal. It happens. But we get an opportunity in any time of grief or sadness, any time of loss, of appreciation. One of the things I've learned, for me, especially with my sister, I get to be here. I lived differently because of it. It changed my life. That at 38, she was no longer here. I'm 48. I am. I look at it like I'm living for both of us. I get to be here every day of it. And as far as whether or not it's easy, like, who said it was supposed to be easy? I love when you see the cement with that little sprig of grass or that daffodil that made its way through that cement. It didn't know it wasn't supposed to. How much of life do we get told, you can't do that, you'll never do that, why are you even bothering? And the worst part of that is the loudest voice is usually our own. You get the opportunity to say no. Spirit as me can do anything. Bloom where you're planted. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's perfect. The mosaic of your life, when you step back, it'll be 2020 and it'll be beautiful. Unless you didn't take those steps. Unless you didn't take that chance. I loved this in particular because to me, your power has always been within you. Now, to me, what this brings up is Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. You've always had the power. She didn't know it. She didn't use it. But she always had it. We come to science of mind because we want to remember that we always had the power and now we get to use it. Yes, just do the next right thing and breathe. And that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to be grand tasks. Sometimes just getting up, getting out of bed and starting the day is more than we can handle. But tough times don't last, tough people do. And that's not just a slogan. It's the next right thing. We're meant to need each other. Part of rising up is having your tribe. Sometimes you're born into a tribe that believes in you and loves you, understands you. Sometimes they support you, sometimes they don't. You know, I know my family never got it. They never got me, and that's okay. I was always a little different. My sister used to tell me I was adopted, and I didn't care. I thought that was good. I said that meant they wanted me. They went out and got, they just had you. They wanted me. They went looking. She used to get so mad. I didn't see it as a bad thing. But, you know, and I don't minimize anyone that has been. I want to make sure I say that. But I think that's wonderful, to be wanted that much. There was no insecurity in that for me. I don't need to be like anybody else. And there are times where we go through loss that is so devastating. And it comes in waves. Grief is something that never really goes. It is something that's real and it's part of human emotions. It's part of being human. There are people that are no longer here anymore. There are things maybe we used to be able to do we can't do anymore. It doesn't make me less than, because there's things I know now that I certainly didn't know then, and I wouldn't try to do. So there's all about perspective. Am I right thinking, in that place of right thinking? Not right according to what people want me to do, not right according to what others say. Right thinking is truth. Truth registers in your gut, in your soul. Truth is, you know that you know. When I walked into these teachings, I knew that I knew. Everything rung true to me. It wasn't about someone saying I had to do something. I just felt like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've thought all along. And as I've gone through these teachings, I have really strived for that conscious contact. I don't need an intermediary. I don't have to pray to an angel to be able to talk to spirit. I can go straight. I can go direct. Spirit is right where I am always. And I am worthy. I was born that way. I am the child of the divine with the birthright of everything. What am I taking in? What are you going to the ocean of life with? Is it a cup? Is it a gallon? I always say dive in. The water's fine. You don't have to take anything. Just dive right in. That's where we're meant to be. Spirit is right where we are. Hop in. The water's fine. But I have to let go of my ego, my personal stuff for the greater. I cannot be in grief and experience joy. One of the things that I've learned is that to celebrate my sister, I get to talk about her and be happy about it. But if I'm in grief and I'm just missing, I'm not celebrating who she was. I'm just missing something. Everything in life changes. I get the opportunity of how I deal with that change. What does that look like? And I honor it when it is. You know, when there's anniversaries of different losses, it comes up and I remind myself the week before to start paying attention. Extra prayer, extra readings, extra fun, and being around people that I love so that I don't isolate, I don't deny it. I spent most of my life, that was my coping mechanism, was denying life. Denying pain, denying it, just walking through it. I didn't ask myself, could I, would I, should I? I just did. Because the more I accomplished, that meant I was better. If I made you happy, then I had to be happy. I didn't understand what that really meant. And I didn't understand the damage that it did to me. I didn't know what it did to my soul. If I have one mantra that I truly believe is that the best is yet to come. That no matter where anyone is in life, there's greater to be found. It's an emotion. Joy is an emotion. There is nothing that you can hand someone. They may be happy about it, but joy is only ever here. It's an alignment with what I really am. So rising up is that alignment with what and who I am. And when I am in that truth, magical things happen. It can't help not to. Life is good and all is well, but it shouldn't be lip service because that doesn't make us rise. It's learning to trust ourselves and be our best friends. Allow that spirit with that constant conscious contact. Talk to spirit throughout the day. Really be in that place of allowing that power within you to guide you, letting it be. Sometimes we're in what seems like the hallway of life. You know, there are times that things are moving great and you're at a particular job and life is moving along. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes if you feel like you're waiting for that next thing to occur and it's like there's no windows here. I'm waiting, whether it's a relationship or it's a circumstance that you're waiting for something to happen. And I believe that that's where growth is. Because when we're in the rooms, we're doing and we're busy and we're doing. But we're in the hallway, we're being. And in that being, that's where the growth is. Growth is not always comfortable. Actually, that's why they call it growing pains. But remember, even manure has a purpose. It helps everything grow better. Everything, especially the pain, anything I've ever been through gives me the opportunity to help somebody else through it. I can put out my hand, I can put out my heart and say, here, I'm here and you're not alone. And all people really need is to know that they're loved. I am not here to fix anyone. And when I remember that, I am not putting my expectations in the wrong space. Spirit's got that. That's not my job. I spent most of my life trying to fix everything, whether it be at work, whether it be at home. I was raised to be a caretaker. I'm supposed to fix things. And today I know the only thing that I can fix is my attitude. The only thing I can do is align myself with right thinking. And when I do, that's when I can help people. That's when I can help myself. Otherwise, I'm useless. We get a choice. Let it be easy. Let spirit do the heavy lifting. Let the law work. When I get out of my fix-it mode and I surrender into that allowing, the song that I just played said, to achieve, you must believe. It's about time you know the truth. You've got the power all in you. And you do. Ernest Holmes said, every desire you have for the betterment in life is some echo from deep within, which forever proclaims, behold, I make all things new. Spirit is always just like that, right? Just like that little blade of grass through the cement, always pushing upward, always knowing that there's a greater expression there, never giving up. When we remember that, amazing things happen. Yes, take the chance. Thank you, Darlene. Take the chance. That change is absolutely, that's where the good stuff comes. Nothing gets better without it. There's nothing to fear there. Nothing that's truly important can ever be taken away. And when I know and truly know that life is eternal, and even the people that aren't physically here are always with me, and in absolute joy as they are, I can be less attached to the missing them and in greater celebration of who they were and that I enjoyed this life with them. Because there is no vacuum. There's not going to happen. There's no way. Spirit won't allow it. So if something is taken, something else is given, it's the way that it is, as long as I allow it to be so. So it's knowing that, it's remembering that, it's being in that place of trusting spirit. Just like the moons and the suns, with the certainty of the tides, just like the hope sprinting high, still I rise. And I love that poem. I love what it stands for. And I think there's no greater cry or act of knowingness to move forthwith in the week than that. So I am going to share that with you right now. Just know and take in these words and see all that's going around in this particular video. Just know that you have within you that power to lift not just your life, but life itself, because there is only one.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just 'cause I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like suns and like moons, with the certainty of times, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soul's rise? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh. As if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you.
Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave.
What immediate results do you hope to achieve?
And so,
We hope to achieve
naturally,
equal rights with human being as well.
I'll rise. I'll rise. I'll rise.
Yes, Maria, we rise together. Absolutely. We rise together. What a gift it is to be here and remember that no matter what happens, we're never limited. Spirit is never limited. Everything is used for good. So be your true self, no matter what. Nobody has to like it. Be sassy. Be you. And remember that no matter what, the best is yet to come. Sometimes, hard as it may seem, what is in the way is the way. So in that knowing of love and in that knowing of power, I'm going to take a breath and we're going to go into affirmative prayer. We're going to know and claim the magnificence and power of divine. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable, or just open them and take it all in, whatever works for you. But just take a breath, a magnificent breath, knowing that that is life itself. Spirit is both the breath and the breather right here and right now. That infinite power is right here where you are. Spirit is that love, that life, that almighty oneness, joy, peace, and harmony, abundance in all forms, the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between. Spirit is that light, that untouchable truth, unchangeable, unstoppable. And knowing that oneness, knowing that allness, knowing that truth, I know that includes me. And that includes each one. Each one is that power. That infinite source lives, breathes, and moves, has its being as each one. Never diminished, never limited. So I claim that right here and right now. I claim that each one within the sound of my voice and each one beyond knows their power. It's already there. Each one is using it for the highest good. Each one is living, surrendering anything that no longer serves, and lifting up, rising up to the highest version of spirit as each one. Knowing that light, that love, that joy, that abundance is the birthright. And I claim it on behalf of each one right here and right now. I claim that this is the day that Spirit's made, and I am glad in it. I rejoice in truth, and I am excited for the greater and the greater to unfold, knowing the best is yet to come. I celebrate that infinite goodness, greatness, allness of life itself. And knowing this truth is unfolding right here, right now, in greater and greater ways. I celebrate it, knowing it's already done in the one mind. I hand it over to the law to let it be the doer, and I let it be easy. I let it go joyfully, in full gratitude and joyful anticipation. I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to all of you that were at home commenting. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to Spirit for allowing this celebration. And I want to do our affirmation for today. The affirmation we can all say together. The power of God rises in me, and I am free. Free to think, free to be, free to do. Free. And in that freedom is joy, is love, is the allness of a wonderful day and week ahead. So in that knowing, if you've been blessed, I want to go to our affirmation for sharing our gifts. We can all say it together. It is the nature of life itself to give of itself, as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talents, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed and I am a blessing. I am grateful. And in that gratitude, that is how we and why we give. We know that it is multiplied in amazing ways. And I encourage you to, if you've been blessed here, if you've been nurtured here, you go on to PayPal. You can text to give. There's instructions. It's always on our Facebook page as well. Remember that we are there. Leave us notes this week. Reach out to us. Make some comments. We'd love to hear from you this week. There is so much good to be had and so much possibility. And knowing that possibility and joy, I hope you join us for our to join us in our Zoom room right after this. We have a fellowship. Here we go. It is the meeting ID 990-6825-1729 with a passcode of 014254. And you can go to that particular number is always on our Facebook page, but it's also in our weekly newsletter. And if you haven't been signed up for that, please sign up for our newsletter. You'll get to hear all the good stuff going on. We're going to have some classes and we've got workshops. There's so much good coming in store. So happy to be here with you. Thank you for allowing me into your living room. Thank you for allowing Spirit to flow freely through exactly where you are. I wish you a blessed and beautiful week. And I know that the power within you is rising up in greater and greater and greater ways. Blessings and love to you. Namaste.